All right, good evening. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is there anybody but Amelia joining us online tonight?
Jocelyn's here.
All right, excellent. Jocelyn, anybody else joining us?
I think Abigail is here.
Abigail is? Okay. And we got Natalie, correct?
Yep.
Natalie here. All right. We'll go ahead and get started. If you have not joined us before, then we have a link here. There we go. Does anybody need to register? Everybody sounds familiar to me. It's been here before. If you need to register, there's the link for it. Oh, somebody brought the cat. I'll put this link in the chat box. Oops. Get it to triple click it. Actually, I'm going to go here. We'll do it this way. All right, there you go. Take that link. Here is the link for activities, so I will give you that. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and get started because we have kind of a long lesson tonight. So we're going to talk about how cats learn, how training works, tricks and commands, teaching name, come, sit, and walking on a leash. Has anybody ever tried to train their cat? Have you? Natalie, have you had success?
No.
Well, cats are harder to train than dogs.
It's like 11 or 20.
Yeah, they're a little more stubborn. So maybe you'll get some hints tonight to help you out.
Well, we did train them to go to the litter box.
Good. Well, that's a very important one. So how cats learn. So first we're going to talk about classical conditioning. And it's kind of an interesting concept. You learn relationships between two events. One event will have no meaning at first. The second event causes a cat to respond in a certain way. And then the pair of events so that the animal learns that event 1 leads to event 2, and you get the response you want. So in classical conditioning, cats start to associate two different things or events with each other. Say that there are two events, and the first event always leads to the second. The first event has no meaning, though. This is what we call the conditioned stimulus. The event that has no meaning to them is the conditioned stimulus. It is the second event that already has a meaning. The second event already knows how to respond to it. The second event is considered to be the unconditioned response, or stimulus, excuse me. In classical conditioning, a cat learns that event 1 leads to event 2, and in the end, the cat starts to respond to event 1 the same way it would to event 2.
You need to listen.
Let's look at an example, because this is kind of complicated.
You have headphones?
So we have a cat here. And before conditioning, a cat will salivate when given food. So the food is the unconditional response. When it sees the food, it just starts to salivate. That's just the response that it has.
Here.
The food is unconditional stimulus, and the salivation is the unconditioned response. Through classical conditioning, a cat can learn that a bell signals that food is coming. So here we have the bell, but at first, there's no response. The bell doesn't make any sense to it.
Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Oh, I know. If I turn my Bluetooth off.
Over time, if the bell is rung every time before the cat is given food and starts to salivate, so if it's given the bell is rung before it gets food and before the cat salivates, the cat learns that the bell means food is coming. The cat will start to salivate when it hears the bell. We have learned that there is a relationship between the bell and food.
How do you pause this thing?
The bell and food
What's a
will
webinar?
make it salivate. And after the conditioning, the cat will salivate just upon hearing the bell like it did when food was given before conditioning. In this case, the ringing of the bell is
last year with
conditioned stimulus, and the conditioned response is salivation. So after you've conditioned the cat, when it hears the bell, it will just automatically salivate because it thinks it's going to get food. Does that make sense? So this is the unconditioned and the conditioned response. So this is the conditioned and the conditioned stimulus and the conditioned response. And they will always be the same after conditioning. So this cat learned, at first the bell didn't mean anything to it. So then they added the bell, and before they gave the cat food or before it salivated, they'd ring the bell. Well, then they started doing the bell and the food, and it was salivate at the same time. So then it learned eventually that when that bell rings, the cat would just automatically salivate because it thought the bell meant it was going to get food. Yep, very good. Anybody have any questions on that? That's hard. Oh, somebody taught their cat their name. That's great. Oh, he walks on a leash also. That's awesome. We have one the cat has learned his name. The other cat comes to his name and walks on a leash. So that's really good. Very good.
Katamari, he walks on a leash, but he doesn't walk very far.
It's not his favorite way to walk, huh?
Mom, you can talk to people on this.
So classical conditioning example. You remove your cat's food into a
Jesus,
resealable container.
lady talks like Becky.
Unconditioned stimulus is the presence of food. So it always sees the food, it knows it's going to eat. The conditioned stimulus is when you open the container. So let's say you open the baggie, it has a Ziploc, you open it, the cat hears it. The unconditional response is going to the bowl. And the conditioned response is going to the food bowl. As another example, let's say you start to store your cat's food in a resealable plastic container instead of just in the bag it came in. The unconditioned stimulus is the cat's food being put in their bowl. The cat's unconditional response is to go to the food bowl. Over time, the cat starts to associate the opening of a plastic container with the presence of food. The cat no longer waits until food is put in the bowl to walk over to the bowl. Now the cat goes to the bowl when they hear the container open. So now they know, conditioned stimulus, opening of the container, I'm going to go to the food bowl. The opening of the container becomes the conditioned stimulus, and going to the food bowl is the conditioned response. So they've been trained, when I open the baggie, they know to go to their food bowl that they're going to get food. Any questions on that? Kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They learn a sound that'll happen that'll lead them to another event.
Yeah.
Now, operant conditioning, they learn by the results of behavior. There can be a positive outcome, so more likely to perform the behavior again if it's a positive outcome, and there's a negative outcome, which means they're less likely to perform the behavior. So let's look at what the difference is in those. In operant conditioning, cats learn to act according to what has happened to them in the past. If a behavior results in a positive outcome, they will be more likely to perform the same behavior in the future. If a certain behavior causes something bad to happen, they will be less likely to perform the behavior. So let's look at an example here. If your teacher gives you a treat every time you get an answer correct on a test, you'll want to answer test questions how? Correctly, because you know you'll get something good out of it. Similarly, if your teacher gives you detention when you fail a test, you'll be less likely to fail tests in the future because you don't want another detention. Whenever you go downstairs, your cats think they're getting fed. That's good, I guess, if that's where they get fed. Somehow they've learned that. They've been trained. So that makes sense, positive outcome and a negative outcome. One thing you don't want to get, and there's one thing you do want to get. It just depends on which way it's presented and what. So the positive is you get something nice, and the negative is that you may get something that you don't like. With operant conditioning, you use reinforcement. It increases the occurrence of a behavior, and punishment decreases the occurrence of a behavior. So if you look at a reinforcement, getting candy is going to increase you're most likely to do that behavior again to get the candy. But if you get a punishment, it will decrease the likelihood of you doing that behavior again. So there are two main ways to affect how often a behavior is performed. The first is through reinforcement. Reinforcement increases the chance the behavior will be performed. In the last example, the treats your teacher gave you are a form of reinforcements, since they cause you to do better on tests and get more answers correct. On the other hand, punishment makes it less likely that a behavior will perform, like the detentions given. So for any of you that are online, can you type in what would be a really good form of reinforcement for your cat? What do you think is something that would be very reinforcing for your cat if you were training them? Natalie, what do you think your cat might work hard for?
Treats.
Treats. Any particular kind of treats?
Not really.
Are they just like cat treats you get from the store, or do you?
Yeah. He does like the laughing cow cheese.
Oh, yeah. Cheese is a popular one for a lot of animals.
We needed to train him. Tuna's good.
Oh, tuna would be, yes, yeah.
Daddy breakfast time.
Petting, that's a really good one. Some cats will work really hard for petting or brushing. That's great, yeah. That's really great. Sometimes it's nice to use treats, but then there's other times it's nice to have another way so you don't have to worry about your cat becoming obese. Petting and affectionate, yeah. My cat stands on her hind legs for treats. Oh, really likes the treats. Taking them outside to play on the jungle gym. Those are all great ways to reinforce a behavior. Reinforcement. Positive reinforcement gives something good, a treat or petting. Negative reinforcement takes away something bad. You stop yelling when the behavior is performed, so they learn that that's good. Just as, okay, there are two types of reinforcement. The first type is called positive reinforcement. This one makes a lot of sense to everybody. This involves giving something that increases how often a behavior is performed. When training a cat, this could be something like giving a treat or petting, as some of you said, after the cat does what you ask them to. The second type of reinforcement is negative reinforcement. This involves giving away something bad or unwanted. For example, a cat's owner yells at the cat when the cat is on the kitchen table. When the cat jumps off the table, the owner stops yelling. The unwanted noise is removed, and the cat learns that yelling stops when they are not on the table. I think a lot of times people probably go to the negative reinforcement first. I know I do with my animals. And then I realized, oh, I should probably try positive reinforcement. My dad used to spray the cat with water when he would scratch until I took the water bottle away. Abigail, your cat is so cute. So let's look at that a little more. What about reinforcement? The punishment side. Positive reinforcement, you add positive punishment, positive punishment, add something bad, like a harsh word, stop, no, don't. Negative punishment, take away something good. So maybe you're petting your cat and you stop petting them. Maybe they try to scratch you and you're like, nope, I don't want to pet you anymore. Or you take away food, so you're not going to give them a treat. You were giving them treats, but they decided to scratch you, so you stopped giving them treats. Just as with reinforcement, there are two types of punishment. Positive punishment involves adding something negative. This may be something like a harsh word or correction. In our first test taking example, the teacher giving you detention for failing the test is an example of positive punishment. The teacher gives you something that you don't want to make it less likely that you will fail tests in the future. The second type of punishment is negative punishment. Negative punishment involves taking away something good. So if you're petting your cat and they start to bite, you could stop petting them. And this would be a form of negative punishment. You take away the nice petting so that your cat learns that when they bite, they don't get to pet. The cat stops biting as much because they like to be petted and don't want the petting to stop. So that's really good for those of you whose cats like to be petted or brushed. That would be a good way to train them, as you stop doing that when they're doing a behavior that you don't like. Okay, so we're going to do an activity as a group. All right, so let me just, before we get started, I want to make sure I have everybody's name. Amelia, Jocelyn, Abigail, and then Natalie's here in the room. Is there anybody I'm missing? Kristen? I want to try and call on everybody. Anybody else I'm missing?
Me.
Ilona, is that how you say your name?
Kalana.
Adriana, okay. Kalana, Adriana. Anybody else? Okay, so here's the first one. And you can, as soon as you know the answer, go ahead. For those of you online, write it in the chat box. And Natalie, when you think you know the answer, you can just raise your hand or hey, over here. Not for this one. It's on. This one we're going to do on the screen. It's just this one we're not writing down. The only people writing will be writing in the chat box to give their answer, okay?
What was the question?
Okay, here's the first one. You see the picture?
Yeah.
Okay, so here it goes. Princess jumps on the kitchen counter and starts to eat the leftover pizza. Her owner planned on eating the last piece later when she notices Princess eating pizza. Loudly yells, "No!" Princess doesn't like the yelling and runs away. So would this be
Get in here.
positive punishment,
Get in there.
positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, or negative punishment? They use a harsh word. So go ahead and write your answer. Positive punishment. What do you think, Natalie?
Where do you write it?
No, that's okay. So I have a lot of positive punishment. I have a negative punishment. Has everybody got their answer in
Right.
that wants to give an answer?
No, not yet.
Can they hear you? What are you trying to write?
It's a negative
Give me-
punishment, but I won't.
Negative punishment? Okay.
Okay. What am I doing?
Oh, she already got me.
The correct answer is positive punishment. And I'm going to tell you why here.
Positive punishment.
Oh.
Because when they yelled at the cat didn't like it, so the cat jumped off of the cat.
Okay, yeah, I get it.
So the cat learned, even though the yelling is negative, right? So it's positive, the yelling is negative. The positive part is it learned to jump off the counter to stop it.
She can hear you.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So to
Yes,
stop
ma'am.
the punishment, or to stop the yelling, the cat jumps. And so that's called a positive punishment because it's when you take away something that they don't want you to do. So they stop doing the behavior so that you will stop yelling. Okay, let's try the next one.
No.
Rose is being petted by her owner. When Rose starts to bite at her owner's finger, her owner stops petting her. So positive punishment, negative
no biting.
punishment,
Hey, that's
positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement. So the cat is getting something it likes. The cat then licks the fingers, and Rose doesn't like that, so Rose stops.
what are you trying to do?
Positive.
I see, okay, good. Negative punishment, negative punishment.
Negative. What?
Yeah, this one's negative punishment because negative punishment means you take away something that they are enjoying. Okay?
Punishment, is that what you want?
Yeah. I want to put myself on the.
Next one. Fluffy's owner yells at him when he uses the chair as a scratching post. When Fluffy stops scratching at the chair, the owner stops yelling. Fluffy learns that when he stops scratching stops scratching the chair, the annoying noise goes away. So he has learned that when he stops scratching the chair, then the noise of the owner yelling, "Stop, don't do that, put the claws away," goes away. So we have negative reinforcement, positive reinforcement, negative punishment, or positive punishment. I'm sorry, Natalie. Some of us have, Natalie said, did you say positive punishment? Okay. I have positive punishment, positive reinforcement. I have a variety of ideas. This one is actually negative reinforcement. Fluffy's owner yells at him when he's using the chair as a scratching post. When Fluffy stops scratching at the chair, the owner stops yelling. So instead of the owner yelling and Fluffy leaving, Fluffy keeps scratching, and the owner then, when the owner does not stop yelling until the cat stops scratching. So that's called negative reinforcement. So you're using the yelling to reinforce that you don't want them to do that. Okay? Last one. Whisker's owner tells him to come. When Whiskers comes, his owner gives him treats and praise. Whisker loves the tasty treats and is very happy. Positive punishment, negative reinforcement, or positive reinforcement?
Positive reinforcement.
The cat gets praise. Come here, Whiskers. And they say, good kitty. I think everybody probably knows that this one would be positive reinforcement. You're praising your cat for something they did. Something they did that you wanted them to do, that you thought was good. Not something they did that maybe you didn't like, but it was something they were trained to do, that you wanted them to do, and they did it. Very good, guys. This is tough stuff, so I'm really impressed with how you guys are doing. So what works better? Reinforcement, is that better than punishment? Is a punishment better than reinforcement? Reinforcement is better than punishment. This tells exactly what behavior is wanted. It's less stressful for the cat, and it improves the relationship. There's a time and place for both reinforcement and punishment, but in general, reinforcement is better. While punishment just tells a cat not to do something, reinforcement tells a cat that they should do something. Reinforcement tells a cat exactly what behavior is wanted, while punishment is less specific. Does that make sense? That if you reinforce, if the cat sits, you give them a treat, they know exactly what they were supposed to do to get the treat.
Yeah, actually it does.
Continuous punishment can end up being very stressful for cats. They don't like having to always worry about when something bad is going to happen. With punishment, a cat can start to associate the negative stimulus with the person. In other words, constant punishment can damage your relationship with your cat. That makes sense that your cat doesn't realize that you're mad because they're scratching the couch. They think that you are the one that's mad and you're the problem, not them scratching the couch. So try to use as much as possible positive reinforcement. Okay, time for our activity, how Pico learns. You guys want me to put the activity sheets up on the screen, or do you have the activity sheets? I can put them up on the screen.
Okay.
Okay, there's the first one, how Pico learns. Beth adopted her cat Pico a few months ago. She wants to start training him, but wants to know more about how cats learn first. What are the unconditioned stimulus, conditioned stimulus, unconditioned response, and conditioned response in the following? Pico loves to sleep with Beth at night. He always jumps on the bed while she is brushing her hair at night because he knows that this means she's about to go to bed. Beth recently started to wear glasses, so now she puts her glasses away right before brushing her hair. Now Pico jumps on the bed when Beth puts her glasses away. So go ahead, fill it out, trying to decide what the unconditioned stimulus, the conditioned stimulus, the unconditioned response, and the conditioned response is. Okay, so Amelia, do you have what you feel is the unconditioned stimulus? Can you type it up or say it?
Yes, I think it's her brushing her hair.
Good. Brushing her hair, and it could also be going to bed. So either one of those is correct.
Okay.
Good. Good. Jocelyn, do you know what the conditioned stimulus is? You can either say it or you can write it in the chat box. The conditioned stimulus. The unconditioned stimulus was brushing the hair or going to bed, either one of those. Jocelyn, do you have an answer? If not, you can type in help or say help or. How about Abigail? Do you know what the conditioned stimulus is? Okay, that's fine. These are hard. Natalie, do you have an idea what the conditioned stimulus might be? Oh, I'm sorry, Natalie, I was yelling and you're right there. That's A-okay. Kristen, how about you? Do you have an idea what the conditioned stimulus might be? Okay, I'm going to help you guys out because this one is hard. The conditioned stimulus is when she put her glasses away. Putting her glasses away was a trigger that the cat learned that she was doing that meant she was going to be going to bed. Because that's not what, that was a new stimulus that she learned, the cat learned. So the conditioned stimulus is putting the glasses away. How about an unconditioned response? What was the unconditioned response every time? Adriana, do you happen to know that? What was the cat's response every time? Go ahead and type it in or say it. The cat did.
He jumps on the bed.
Yeah. That was the unconditioned response and the conditioned response was jumping on the bed. Unconditioned was jumping on the bed when brushing the hair, and the conditioned response was jumping on the bed when putting her glasses away. So yep, both times it ended up being jumping on the bed. Good job, that's hard stuff. Okay, so what are the different methods Beth can use to teach Pico using operant conditioning? Draw a line to match each phrase on the left with its description on the right. I'll give you a little bit of time. Milana, do you have an answer for positive reinforcement? Which one would be positive reinforcement? Adding something bad, giving something good, taking away something good, or taking away something bad? What would be your best guess? You can either write it or say it.
Saying something good.
Yeah, giving something good. Very good. Yep, positive reinforcement. Giving something good. Excellent.
It has to be done by.
Negative reinforcement. Natalie, what would you say is negative reinforcement?
Adding something bad.
Very good. Adding something bad would be negative reinforcement. The cat is eating the pizza, so you add yelling. The cat doesn't like it. Negative reinforcement. Positive punishment. Amelia, what would you say for positive punishment?
Adding something bad.
That was negative reinforcement. Yep, taking away something bad or taking away something good. Positive punishment.
Okay.
So think about
Taking away something good.
positive punishment would be taking away something bad. So the cat found out that as soon as he stopped scratching, the yelling stopped.
Okay.
So that's taking away something bad. The cat didn't like the yelling, but the yelling continued until he stopped scratching. Then when he stopped, the yelling stopped.
Okay.
So that took away something bad the cat didn't like. Though it's hard. Oh, you're doing a great job. So negative punishment. Let's see. How about Kristen? What do you think for negative punishment? Adriana, what do you think about
I don't
negative
think Christian
punishment?
is here anymore. But negative punishment would be taking away something good.
Very good. Yep, good job, guys. Okay, so now we're going to go on and talk about something a little different, how training works. So this might interest some of you that said that you've had trouble training your cat, Natalie.
Yeah, that's a little hard too.
Rewards. Rewards. Know what your cat likes. I know some of you said your cat likes petting. Natalie said her cat likes treats. Some of them like to play with toys. Use better rewards for harder tasks. So if you have a task that is really hard for them, maybe you want them to not just sit but lay down, then you might have to give them a better reward, one of their most favorite rewards. And random rewarding. This means you don't reward them every time, so that they will learn that they work for it even if they don't get a reward. So not all rewards are equal. Different cats perceive rewards differently. Some cats love to be petted. Others will do anything for a tasty treat. Some cats respond well to being given a toy. Figure out what your cat likes. Save better rewards for when a cat completes hard tasks. This gives them extra motivation. As cats start to figure out what you're asking them to do, don't give rewards all the time. So start out giving them a reward every time, but when they've got it down, you know they can do it, then don't give them that reward every single time. This will keep them engaged. They'll want to keep doing the activity hoping to get a reward, so they'll keep doing it. Just make sure to phase out the rewards gradually as they start to learn what you're asking them to do, and not all at once. So maybe you start out giving treats every time your cat sits, and then slowly you don't give them a treat every time, and then slowly your treat becomes you pet them on the head or something like that. So effectiveness of training. There are a variety of things that can influence the effectiveness of training. You won't have control over all these factors, but there are things you can do to make training more effective. First is timing. It's important to give rewards immediately after the desired behavior is performed. Otherwise, the cat won't know what they're getting a treat for. So if they sit and you don't give them the treat right away, then they'll be like, well, what did you want me to do? So they might go ahead and lay down, but that's not what you wanted. So as soon as they sit, you give them a reward. Consistently. You can't keep changing your mind about what you're asking them to do. If you want to train your cat to stay off the counter, then you can't make an exception to the rules. You have to make sure the cat is never allowed on the counter, even first thing in the morning when you're tired and don't want to deal with the cat. So consistency is important. The time. Since cats have short attention spans, it works better to keep training sessions short. Don't push cats to work longer than they want to, because the extra training won't be effective. The environment plays a large role in the effectiveness. Training will work much better in a quiet environment in areas where there are not a lot of things going on. For example, you might want to train your cat in your bedroom, where you can shut the door to all the other distractions, and not train in the living room where maybe the TV is on. Instinct. A behavior will be easier for a cat to learn if it's something instinctive, such as jumping up on a higher location. It will be harder for them to learn if it goes against their natural behavior, such as riding your dog's back. Routine. Create a routine and training at the same time each day may be helpful and make training sessions more effective. So these are all good things to think about. Training doesn't come easy. Training takes work on both the animals' part and the humans' part doing the training. Well, your cat's attention span lasts 2 to 3 minutes, then I would say you should not train longer than 3 minutes. That's good to know. That's good to know.
I will sit and watch birds for like maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah, they love to watch that, don't they? They will do that. Motivation. A cat's level of motivation has a huge influence on how effective training is. Motivation is affected by permanent and temporary factors. Cat's age excuse me, start that again. A cat's age, temperament, and past experiences will all affect the level of motivation and the effectiveness of training. Some cats may be more motivated to work for treats compared to a toy. So that's what we talked about. The harder the task, the higher the treat should be. A cat's level of motivation can change. A cat may be more motivated to work for treats if it has been a while since they last ate. If you feed your cat meals at specific times, this means that right before mealtime may be a good time for training. If you use petting as a reward, a cat might be less motivated to perform a behavior if they were recently petted and had a lot of attention. You might not be able to do much about your cat's personality, but you can try to schedule training sessions at times when your cat would be more motivated. So this is a good time to know what your cat is like. Like Abigail, who said her cat has a 2 to 3 minute attention span. That helps if you know that, so that you don't get frustrated and the cat doesn't get frustrated.
My cat does not have a really long,
Your cat has a short attention span?
yeah.
Yeah. Well, you want to make another reason you want to make it short is you want it to be fun for the cat. You want the cat to want to do it. If you push them past the point where it's fun for them, they're not going to want to do it again.
Yeah.
So maybe it's better to get a good training in for 3 minutes than it is to try and push them for 5 minutes and then they don't like to do it and don't want to train anymore.
Yeah.
Clicker training. How many of you here have tried clicker training? Natalie, have you ever tried that? Clicker training? Right? With your dog, have you done clicker training with your dog? It's really common with dogs, yeah. And it's really common with zoo animals. Clicker training.
Is it like where you click a button and it makes a click sound and then that gets
Yep.
your attention?
Yep.
I saw it.
Yep, we're going to talk about how it works. You're exactly right.
I'm gonna try training my guinea pigs and my rabbits how to clicker train so then they can race.
Oh, good luck. I would like to know how that turns out.
Well, I was watching funny cat videos on YouTube.
Yeah, you saw them doing that? I think we're going to watch one here in a little bit. Clicker training is a specific method that can be used to train cats. Once a cat performs the desired behavior, the trainer uses a clicker to make a short noise and gives the cat a treat. This video shows a cat that has been trained using a clicker. You will see that there are lots of things that cats can be trained to do with this method. This one doesn't work. We have another one that will.
Okay.
Okay, this one does not want to work. I was having trouble with it earlier. So I hope the other one, if the other one doesn't work, I do have the link so we can go to it. Before a cat can be trained to do neat tricks with clicker training, they have to learn that the click means they did something right. This is done by doing what is called charging the clicker. This will teach the cat to associate the clicking noise with treats. It is a fairly simple process. Start by setting your cat in front of you in a quiet area without distractions. Use the clicker to make a noise. As soon as you click, give your cat a treat. At this time, they don't have to actually do anything for you. Keep clicking and treating so the cat learns that a click means a treat is coming. Repeat this exercise in short sessions for a while before you start asking your cat to do any tricks. So the first part is you click, you treat, you click, you treat, so that they learn that that sound means they're going to get a treat.
That's gonna be hard for me because I have 2 dogs. This is really, really hard.
Yeah, you need to find a quiet place to do that.
I could try my room.
There you go. You go in your room, shut the door. Once the clicker is charged, which means that they understand that when you click, you get a treat, it is time to start training with the clicker. Training using a clicker is fairly straightforward. As soon as the cat performs the desired behavior, click and give a treat. Again, timing and consistency are very important. The click has to be given immediately so the cat knows what they did right. Okay, so now I do have a video that if it doesn't work, I have the link for so that you can. Okay, I will get the link here. Can you guys hear that?
Actually, no.
No.
Is that better?
I still don't hear it.
Neither do
I.
I can see it, but I can't hear it.
Well, you might have to listen to it later when you download it. If you get we can send the link. I'll post the link in the chat box.
Okay.
The cat is supposed to touch with its nose, not with its paw, with its nose. Every time it touches with its nose, she clicks. And then immediately gives the cat a treat. See how it touched the nose and she clicked it? And
Oh, I can hear it now.
okay, good. I'll still go ahead and post it.
Now I can hear it.
Okay. I don't know why you couldn't. I'm glad you can. So that would be fun to do. Look how long this cat's doing it.
Yeah. I wish my cat had that long of a
Maybe it's in fast forward.
Maybe so.
Was that a puppy?
Was that what?
I think I just saw a puppy on the next video.
It might have been on the next video. I'll go ahead. Did everybody? Good. There we go. Haley, we don't want to know what you're doing today. I'll go ahead and that's not what I wanted. I'll put this in the box for anybody that couldn't hear it, and you can listen to it later. Okay. So that's pretty cool. So clicker training can teach complex behaviors. There's no punishment that's used. And the timing and consistency are important. So the great part is no punishment. You can teach complex behaviors, and but you need to make sure you click it, the treat comes right away. Real quick, we're going to go through shaping because we're running out of time. Shaping is another method that can be used to teach CAT. Shaping is a step-by-step process where the desired behavior is taught gradually and in small increments. When first starting to teach a behavior with shaping, cats are given rewards for smaller behaviors that are similar to the desired behavior. The trainer slowly builds up the desired behavior as the cat progresses in the training and comes closer to the desired. Somebody must be listening. Comes closer to the desired behavior. The trainer stops rewarding for previous steps in the behavior as the cat progresses the training. For example, say you want to teach a cat to climb a staircase. Using this method, you'll start by giving a treat when the cat climbs the first step. Then when you get this down, you give them a treat for the next step. And you keep moving up the steps until the cat goes all the way. So that's shaping. So activity, what's the best way to train? So go to your worksheets and go to what's the best way to train?
Okay, so I don't have any. My mom didn't get any of them. So.
Okay, I'm going to put one up here for you.
Okay.
Okay, best way to train. You gave a presentation in class on how to train cats. And now all your friends are asking about what training or what things will make training more or less effective. In each case, circle which option would lead to a more effective training session. So let's just go through these real quick and I'll say your name. And you can either say it or type it. And as briefly as possible would be great. Because we are running out of time. Okay, so Natalie, I'll start with you. Best way to train, is it with the TV on or off? Off, TV off, good. Amelia, lots of people and pets walking by or shut in your quiet bedroom?
Shut in your quiet bedroom.
Good. Jocelyn, training at the same time every day or training at different times every day?
At the same time?
Good. Let's go with Abigail. Giving rewards immediately or waiting 5 seconds before giving a reward?
Giving rewards immediately.
Good. Kristen, long training sessions or short training sessions? Kristen might be gone. How about we go to Kyalona?
Well, it depends on what attention span it has.
Yeah.
So if it's a short one, then you have to go a short amount of time.
Right. So most likely you would start out with a short one, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Adriana, teaching a cat to lay down in her favorite spot on command or teaching a cat to jump through a hoop. What is the best way to train if you were just starting out?
Teaching a cat to lay down in her favorite spot on command.
Yeah, that's excellent. Natalie, we're back to you. Using the same treats all the time or using better treats for harder tricks?
Better treats.
Better treats for harder tricks. Good. Amelia, always giving rewards, randomly giving rewards.
Always giving rewards.
And I can see why you would say that, but if you've been training your cat, let's say for a couple of weeks, and they're doing the activity really, the event or whatever you want to do really, really good, then would you change it to randomly?
Yes, I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
No, and I understand how that would be confusing, but you're right, because at first you should always, and then as they learn the activity till they're
Okay.
really good, then you start randomly doing it. So you're right in both ways. Good job.
Okay.
Jocelyn, using treats as a rewards right before the meal or using treats as rewards right after mealtime?
Right before.
Yeah, they might be hungry. They might be ready to eat something, so they'll be willing to work for a treat. Good. Okay, so let's look at some of the other students were confused about why clicker training can work so well. Draw a star or a happy face next to anything that is true about clicker training. Okay, I'm just going to ask for true or false. I think did I end with Jocelyn or Amelia? I don't know, who did I end with? Abigail?
Me.
Abigail, did I end with you? Have you done one, Abigail?
Yeah.
Okay. Natalie, it's your turn again. True or false? Clicker training can teach complex tricks.
I'm guessing true.
Yeah, it can. Like complex would be considered like learning one step, then another step, and then you learn to, when you get to the top, maybe you jump or something, jump through something. It can definitely teach them to do that. Very good.
That's a normal kitty.
Okay, true or false? Kailana, no punishment is used with clicker training. Is that true or false?
False.
No punishment.
Oh.
That is true. It's true. Yep, you're exactly right. Because you only click when they do what you want them to do. That's the correct thing. You don't punish them. Good. Adriana, true or false? Clicker training can improve bonds between cats and their owners.
True.
Yep. Very good. Amelia, a lot of punishment is used. True or false?
False.
Good job. Jocelyn, timing is not important. True or false?
Yes.
Timing is important. You're right. So that would be false. Good job. And Abigail, you have the last one here. Oh, not the last one. Second to last one. Clickers need to be charged before training. True or false?
True.
True. Charged is when the cat learns that when they hear the click, they'll get something they like. Why do I keep losing track? Kailana, clickers cannot be used to teach simple commands like sit. True or false?
False.
False. Of course they can be. Okay, let's talk about shaping real quick.
What, Lennon? It's going like vegetables. He's saying he doesn't want it. He doesn't like it. Don't ask me. Go ask your mom.
Okay, so some of your friends wanted to know more about how shaping behavior works. Draw a triangle next to anything that is an example of shaping. So let's just do again a true false for shaping.
What does that even mean?
And let's start with Natalie. An owner teaches a cat to give a high five by first teaching him to lick the paw. Good. Adriana, the behavior is taught all at once. The shaping, the behavior is taught all at once.
False.
False, exactly. Step by step.
When? Is it mine?
Amelia, a cat being taught to come is at first rewarded for taking just one step toward her owner.
True.
Good. Jocelyn, a cat is only given treats when she jumps completely through a hoop.
False.
Very good. Do it by steps.
All right.
Treats the whole way.
You can't even walk in the water. Get out.
The behavior is taught gradually. True or false?
And you're eating all of that because you weren't given a lot. And all of that is still sitting there.
I'm gonna have to mute everybody. Okay, thank you. Abigail, the behavior is taught gradually. True or false? Who hasn't had a question yet? I don't know who that is. S? Okay. The last one is true. What? S. Bennett? I'm sorry, I did not know there was a S. Bennett joining us. Bennett? Something like that. I apologize, I did not know that. Okay. Let's see, the time is done. I want to see how much we have left because we might just go ahead. We might have to just go ahead and quit for tonight, but I will let Lisa know where we stopped at, and in the fall, maybe we can pick it up and finish it up, okay? So for now, I will put the link to the,
Is this our last one?
for the summer. We'll start again in September. Okay?
What?
Yeah, everybody's very busy in the summer, and you'll have fairs and all that to go to.
Okay.
I love that guinea pig. It's so
A
cute.
lot of times it just works better. Sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Here's your link for the survey. Did you want to do the survey? Yes. Come on over. Okay, everybody have a nice summer.
Thank you.
You too.
Thank you.
I have a guinea pig. His name is Rollo, but he's shy and he doesn't like to come out.
Oh, I have two guinea
My
pigs.
guinea pig says goodbye and thank you for all the great things.
Oh, very cute, Adriana. I have two guinea pigs, two little females.
2 guinea pigs?
I would take care of the mother, but the other one is less social. And I also have a rabbit inside, but he doesn't really like to come out since he's new.
Thanks for sharing. Have a good summer, guys.
Bye. Bye.
Guinea pigs.
Bo says bye.
Bye.